We're going to talk about advice for homebrewers themselves. So, if someone listening and thinking about brewing their first batch, what advice would you get them or give them? Sorry.
So the first piece of it is go with the beer kit and don't go with something crazy. Go with something simple. Go with like a
Mm,
blonde. Don't do what I did and try to go with a Vit beer because that was my first was a brewer's best Vit beer where you have to focus on this spice and this. No, go with the best recipe I can recommend is More Beer has a blonde recipe and it's it's Willamette at the at the beginning of the bowl. So you got single hop and you're using USO5 or a variant of that if you're doing a dry strip. Do that. Get your process down. Try it. And say, oh, this is good. Or if you don't have temperature control, but use Voss, something like that. And just give it a shot and see what you think. And then the other biggest piece of advice I can give is be receptive and willing to be receptive to whatever feedback that you get. It's not
mm-hmm,
necessarily going to be what you like, but it's going to be what you need to hear and make sure you're absolutely receptive to that.
mm-hmm. No, I that's some great advice right there for sure. Um, what what do you think is the biggest mistakes new brewers make though?
Well, there's a lot to it, but it all goes into the hobby as well because, there could be temperature control, it could be sanitation. Like when it comes to temperature control, I would expect a new brewer to have glycol or, I would
Oh,
expect them to
yeah.
have a fermentation fridge or something like that. So, but I think a lot of it is going in expecting, oh, this is going to be the best thing ever. And, to be quite honest, it's not, but it's going to
Mm-hmm.
be because you made it. But, it's, you got to go into it, like I said, be receptive to the feedback and be willing to learn, you
Yeah.
know, so, but when you go into it, like I said, it's so much and it's a lot to absorb, but keep it simple and don't go in like I just spoke with a new home brewer a couple weeks ago and they wanted to make a very difficult recipe. And I said, no, keep it simple. That way, you can learn yourself some, you can,
Mm-hmm.
get your process down. It's something you've never done before. You've got a sheet you're looking at for your times. No, keep it easy, make it easy to focus. Simple.
Right. I also think like don't beat yourself up either. I think that's another good one too, because even if it doesn't turn out the way you think it should have turned, or taste, I think I've seen that too, where like I tried to make this amber and it doesn't taste like this other amber that I've had before. Well, there's a lot of reasons for that. I mean, one, there's probably not even the same grain bill. That's going to be totally different, right? So, like, don't beat yourself up on that for sure. So, for someone who wants to start uh yeast banking, like, where should they start? Should they just start from what they just brewed, or should they start?
Oh, well, so the first piece of it is I would recommend getting a stir plate. I know Denny would argue with me on that, but I'd argue right back and you would, to me, results are better, mean more than, anything I see on the internet. So the results and what I get on my palate, that's what works better in my experience, in my brewery. Now, other systems different, but no, get your stir plate. That's the first piece. But when you do your banking, just start from a liquid pouch. Get your process down. Just get a liquid pouch. Maybe get 1056 WLPO1, something like that. If you want to, say if you just got the stir plate and you've ever used that and you're trying to learn banking all at the same time, well, get maybe a dry pack of Voss, something like that and prop it up with
Mhm,
2 liters, 1040. But a good exercise to use to get into that would be like get a 6 pack of Sierra Nevada or a 6 pack of Sierra Nevada Pale Ale or 6 pack of the Bell's Two Hearted, and learn how to propagate that up before you make that investment because I know a lot of guys say I can pitch this one tube of yeast, in my case, 15 milliliters of yeast, and then 2 liters of wort, and it's great. I've never had that experience, not once. So that's why I don't do it.